Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Tuesday, the 17th of November. All right, now I've been out of action the last sort of 2.5 weeks after a knee replacement operation. I can tell you it was pretty nasty, but I am back on my feet a bit. So we will be getting back into more consistent sort of updates so you can sort of keep track of what's going on. Now, just having a look, I mean, it's been not a bad time to be sort of away. If anything, the US dollar, since the Trump or the elections and Biden got up and the Trump sort of fall of grace and wondering what he was going to do with all these legal cases and all this sort of stuff, the dollar is still in a bit of limbo. But overall, I mean, you can't deny the fact that the dollar is lower from where it was, you know, last year, etc. So it is still in a bearish pattern, and but we still are in the middle of support and resistance at the moment. Now, why is that? Well, you come over to the news; it's very lackluster. Right, there was so much fanfare around the obviously the US election. A lot of the news has just turned straight back to COVID, you know, vaccines and all this sort of crap. Then you've come back in. I'm not sure exactly what the situation is with Trump and the legal cases, etc. So I don't know if it's been completely covered yet. I did see old Mayor Giuliano coming out saying that he thinks they're going to be overturned. So anyway, there's a bit of uncertainty there, which is just nullifying trading at the moment. But the news, it's not by any stretch like the core fundamentals that we're used to or love seeing in the market. All right, so just having a look at the dollar, right? We've had a bit of a risk-on day. Equity market's up 1.6%. The dollar itself, well, it's falling at the moment, but you know, this is the slow cycle through the trading sessions. It just isn't going to go up in one day or down in one day. But you would expect with that risk-on sentiment, Aussie, Kiwi, CAD to rally, and that's sort of what we are seeing at the moment. If I just flick you over to the charts, all right, you're sort of starting to slowly see the Aussie pick itself up, gaining some momentum, but with lacking those core fundamentals, the moves are slower, right? And they can, you know, balk you out of the trade. By that, I mean, you get in, you stay in the position, you're up like 15, 20 points, and you're like, man, I've seen this too many times where it just pulls back. And then sure enough, Murphy's Law, if you do square up, it goes up. If you don't, it goes down. We're in that sort of little conundrum, but we are starting to see a little bit of more consistency across the board with some of these pairs. You can see dollar CAD is rolling over there. Oil back above $40, $41. It's got a supported downside move in dollar CAD as well. And you can see the sort of, once again, the sort of choppy trading activity here on dollar yen. Now, whilst I've been a little bit with my legs up, just taking a look at the market insight, right? I'm trying to make this a little bit more functional for traders so you can understand a bit more about what's going on. So what I'm doing is, because the macros at the moment aren't really in play, I'm sort of focusing a bit more on the technical side of things and making sure you're aware of what is actually happening at the moment. And it comes really back into some of the technical patterns. Now, I've got to do a bit of work for those traders who have the online Forex courses. I'll be adding a new section in under the technical analysis area, all about these technical patterns and telling you about each one, what it means and all these sorts of things. Now, before you sort of jump up and down and think this is a change of what we've been doing for years, it's not at all. If anything, these technical patterns are, when you break it down, just support and resistance. But I thought with the lack of macros in the market, it's important that you actually get some understanding around the pattern and what it can mean for where the next opportunity is going to come. Now, it will already you'll see that if you're just using support and resistance, but there are a few here where you can, prepare basically, like at the way these currencies are lined up at the moment, Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, all bullish, and what is the sort of setup. And I said, once again, I'll explain what each of these patterns are called. You know, if you search the internet, you can find like 100, but there's sort of core about 6 or 8 that do come into play that you need to sort of keep an eye out for, and it will give you a bit more of an insight into the trading opportunity. Now, for example, if we did see strong US dollar news come out, and we've got a bearish sentiment at the moment and descending triangle, so it's just been drifting lower. Well, are you going to get super long, like go aggressively long dollars? Probably not. If it's already the structure of the technicals is down, okay, it's not too far a shift. I just want you to get greater understanding around the technical patterns, what they are, and what it can mean for the next trading opportunity. Obviously, and this is where the fundamentals come into play, the fundamentals will give us the answer. But I'll tell you what, if the fundamentals line up with these, the sentiment and the technical pattern, well, then you've got a really good trade. So to me, including the technical pattern here is going to be like a probability enhancer for the opportunity and something that you can keep an eye on. And as well, you'll see at what stage is this technical pattern in play, right? So like for the US dollar, the dollar index, as we just saw there before, it's ongoing, just trading sideways, nothing much to get excited about. But if there was some excitement, I'll be looking for the downside, and that's where I'm focusing on that key level. But I'll give you more details in the courses, and you'll see some updates over the next day or so. Outside of that, guys, there's not a hell of a lot really happening at the moment, except we are seeing the sentiment line up pretty clearly. The dollar index isn't really going anywhere just at the moment, although it has that bearish sentiment. But I'm getting a little bit more enthused about the Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi. They do like it higher. So another couple of good days on the equity markets, and we should see these things break higher. Now, sentiment at the moment coming from the US or the North American indices, equity indices. So just keep an eye on those as you go through that North American session. That's the key indicator for me at the moment as to what the dollar is going to be doing, right? Because the news is so convoluted, it's a bit hard to sort of keep up, with the push-pull sort of profile of, the Trump-Biden situation, the COVID situation. It's just one, back and forward, going over the same stuff. And that's where we are at the moment, guys. So hang in there. You'll have the updates that should be back online daily from now. And I wish you all the best. Cheerio.